The iPhone 16 doesn't seem like a huge upgrade at first glance, but there are actually some exciting features, especially in terms of design, the camera, and a new button that changes the way you take photos and videos. I've been using the iPhone 16 in my daily life for a few days now, and I'll show you how the iPhone performs. When unboxing the device, the first thing you see is the iPhone 16, and underneath there's the charging cable, a few warranty notes, and a SIM ejector tool. Now at first glance, not much has changed in terms of design. The modifications here are quite subtle. The iPhone 16 once again features an aluminum frame and a matte glass back with slightly rounded edges for a more comfortable grip when holding it for longer periods. It feels very premium overall, and as we've come to expect from Apple, and most people will like it. A new addition is the teal color, a mix of blue and green with a slightly pastel-like finish. Depending on the lighting, it looks like a different and is overall a very nice. The weight is about 170 grams, which is well distributed in the hand and feels pleasantly light, but not so light that it feels cheap. On the left side, you will find the volume buttons and the action button, which replaces the previous mute switch. On the right side, as usual, there is a standby button and the new camera control. This camera control is a physical button designed exclusively for operating the camera. It's a physical button you can press, but it also has a touch-sensitive surface. This means you can not only press it but also swipe on it. The button also detects whether you press lightly or firmly. A single press opens the camera, and a second press takes a photo immediately. And if you hold the button down, a video recording starts instantly without needing to switch the camera mode manually. This makes it much easier to record spontaneous videos without having to navigate through the menu. There's also haptic feedback, which gives a noticeable click when pressed. This is a practical innovation, especially for people who frequently take photos and videos. And if you don't want to use the camera control, you can disable it in the settings. Like the iPhone 15 Pro, the iPhone 16 replaces the classic mute switch with the action button. The big advantage is here that you can customize it individually. You can set it up to open the camera, turn on the flashlight, or run a shortcut, for example. If you frequently used the mute switch before, you can still assign it as a mute button. The button has a very pleasant haptic feedback and is a useful addition. When it comes to the display, there are only minimal changes compared to the iPhone 15. The iPhone 16 has a 6.3-inch display, whereas the iPhone 15 has a 6.1 inches. As expected from Apple, the display is very good. However, the refresh rate remains at 60 Hz, meaning that animations and scrolling are not as smooth as on the Pro models with 120 Hz. Always On also remains exclusive to the Pro models. In a world where even mid-range Android phones offer 120 Hz, Apple is still producing $600 smartphones with the same refresh rate as a budget device from 2019. If you've never used a 120 Hz screen, you won't notice it. But if you have, going back to a 60 Hz feels like switching from a Tesla to a bicycle. What has improved is the maximum brightness, which can now reach 2000 nits, making the display easier to read in sunlight. Dynamic Island remains a central feature, allowing you to keep an eye on notifications, live activities, and running apps in the background. Now let's talk about the camera. Instead of overwhelming you with technical specs, I'll just show you some photos and videos I took with the iPhone 16. Compared to its predecessor, the differences are not huge or even barely noticeable. Even in challenging lighting conditions, the images remain detailed and natural looking. Apple has improved the main camera. It now has a larger 48 megapixel sensor that captures more light and delivers better photos in low light conditions. The ultra-wide camera has also been improved, so photos in darker environments appear even more detailed. Personally, I didn't notice a direct difference from the iPhone 15, but if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments. For most users, the difference in daily use won't be huge, but one thing remains the same. The iPhone 16 takes great photos, both during the day and at night. I'm also very satisfied with the videos the iPhone 16 records. They look great in daylight and also hold up in well in nighttime records. However, 4K at 120 FPS is only available on the Pro models. The iPhone 16 is limited to 4K at 60 FPS. One of the most practical innovations is that the new camera controls allow you to start recording much faster without having to navigate through the camera app. Now let's move on to another important point, the battery. In my test, I easily got through an entire day, often even longer. Of course, this depends on usage. If you play a lot of games or watch videos on mobile data, you'll need to charge it sooner. Fast charging has also been improved. With a 30-watt charger, you can charge the iPhone to 50% in just 30 minutes. MagSafe is still available, and I feel like the magnets are slightly stronger, ensuring a more secure connection with accessories. Inside, the A18 chip delivers even more efficient performance. Apps open quickly, multitasking runs smoothly, and gaming is no problem at all. However, in everyday use you won't notice a huge difference compared to the previous 2-year models. Apple has also improved AI features, making functions like live text, Siri, and smart photo editing faster. If you're coming from an iPhone 13 or older, you will definitely notice a significant performance boost. So is the upgrade worth it? If you have an iPhone 13 or older, then the upgrade is worth it, especially because of the better camera, dynamic island, the new camera control, and of course Apple Intelligence will be also available on the iPhone 16. If you have an iPhone 15, the differences are very small. The camera has been improved, but the 60Hz display remains. Here, everyone must decide for themselves whether the new features are worth the switch. The iPhone 16 starts at $799 for the 128GB version. It's available in 5 colors: ultramarine, pink, white, black, and teal, which has the one I have here. Would you upgrade to the iPhone 16 or not? Let me know your opinion on the comments. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, then give it a like to let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.